God damn it, now it's covered in fucking saliva. So some of y'all are going back to school, whether it's high school, college, or I don't know, whatever kind of school you go to. I'm happy that you're back, whether you've already begun school, whether you've not. But anyways, today I got a story time for y'all, and at the end of the video, I'm going to give you guys some advice, especially for those high schoolers, because I feel like there's some advice I can give. There's so much things that I wish I had done and all that. And this story is essentially going to be probably the biggest story I've ever had in my high school. It was basically about the time I was framed for something, and it genuinely ruined my experience with that class for a certain amount of time. And hopefully one day, and I've always, for some reason, it's weird because I've never had this revenge mindset on any other teacher, but with this teacher, I'm like, bro, I hope that this video goes. Obviously, it's not. This video is probably only gonna have 50 views, but I hope this video gets big enough to where he sees it and he's like, damn, I'm getting exposed. Although I'm not going to say their names on any of that because obviously I don't want to get anyone in trouble, especially because it happened in 2017. But anyways, it's 2017. It was my second semester of my freshman year of high school. Now, I'm just going to give you some small details going into this. My high school had a lot of students. And so the ninth graders, us freshmen, we actually had our own separate campus. So anytime I see movies where freshmen are getting bullied, I never experienced that because, first of all, I ain't a pussy. I ain't gonna get bullied. I only ever got bullied in like second grade to some like little Asian girl. I'm not even joking. My only ever school bully was from some fucking Asian girl whose name I can't even remember from the top of my head. Like I can't even remember her at all. But anyways, the story was in my freshman year, second semester. It was in a freshman campus, and it was for my seventh period PE class. Now my class, I always loved it because that class was just I love PE. As a kid with ADHD, PE was like the goated air. And not only that, but by that point there had been only like 2 years without recess. And to me, recess was always a necessity. So having PE was always like this badass thing. But the PE teacher was also not just a PE coach. He was a, I don't remember what sport it was, but it wasn't any of the important ones. Like it wasn't like football, basketball, or soccer. Like those shits are important. I remember it was a small, no one gives a fuck about sport. It might have been tennis, honestly. Don't remember, but he was in good shape though. I'll give him that. Like he's probably the most in shape teacher I had. The best way I can describe him is he looks like Heisenberg, but if he was black and had a thin beard on the side. He's bald. He was black, but he was in really good shape. And don't call me racist. I ain't shitting on him because he's black, okay? Because I know some of you, I know we meme around like that on the channel, but it wasn't because it's race or anything like that. So what happened was I was always kind of, my entire life, I've always been seen as a little bit odd, but people still liked me enough to where they're like, okay, he might be funny enough, he might not be. Because with my ADHD and all that, I was a very energetic jump kid that always wanted to talk, always wanted to mess around, especially with PE. It was almost like I'm getting graded on this shit, okay? And he was chill for the most part. The coach was pretty chill, although at times he came off as a dickhead. He seemed like someone who probably shouldn't be around kids, not because he's weird or anything, but because he seemed like he was annoyed all the time. Like that's the best way I can explain it. Like he seemed like he didn't want to be near kids. So why the hell did he have the job? I don't know. But anyways, he was our PE coach, and one day we were outside. We have this little track. It's a little football field, and there's this small little building. It was filled with supplies. Like it was filled with those weight things that you push for football players. It was filled with vests. It was filled with basically any sport thing that anyone was going to be on for that particular day. I like this class, by the way. Some of the students in there were cool, although most of them did find me annoying. I don't care. Some of them found me annoying. Some of them found me funny, but I don't care, bro. I was just an outgoing kid. You know what was weird? I would always talk to quiet kids, all right? I know that sounds random, but I would always talk to quiet kids because to me, I always was like, I know they're not really quiet. I know that they're just introverted. They just want someone to talk to. And I realized, like, I remember there was one kid at the end of the school year who thanked me because I was his only friend in that class. And I was like, thank you for not making this class boring. And I remember I would play cards with him because I don't know, I was just always that guy, okay? I was always that guy. What's funny is that I have a friend who actually vlogged some of the time I was in high school. One day I'm gonna try to pile up the footage. The only reason why I wouldn't is because he recorded the front of his house so much, and I don't want to dox him at all. But then again, I don't know, but I want to give him a shout out. But I'm gonna ask him one day because I don't know the safety and all that. But there are some videos of me when I was in high school, and they're not a lot. There's actually one of me wearing that exact shirt, so I guess there's some proof. And one day I'm gonna clip it up, ask him for permission. But anyways, I was just fun outgoing, and one day uh, there was these guys, and what's funny is that this class was filled with Mexicans. Like it's just a bunch of illegals, and obviously none of them were illegal, but they were all Hispanic. I don't even know why I got to mention that, bro. A bunch of Jose's, Juans, Jaimes, whatever you want to call them, Rodrigos. But I was in this class, and I saw a group of them, and it was in this. They were just sitting up against the wall. We had basically done all the things we needed to do, and we just kind of were outside. Just the whole class was just out, just doing whatever. I was trying to riz up one of the girls. Didn't work out, but still, that was me. I always liked talking to girls when I was in high school, especially. But I was a riz, especially ninth freshman year. Me was like a different breed, but that's a different story for another day. Anyways, uh, I saw them throwing like rocks at a water gallon. It was a milk gallon. It was a milk gallon filled with water. Like half of it was filled with water. And I saw them. They were just throwing pebbles in there. I assumed they were playing basketball. Me with ADHD, I just went up there and I'm like, oh, that looks like fun because we weren't doing anything for some because I think we weren't allowed to use the balls for some reason or anything like that. I don't remember exactly. It was probably I think what I remember was that the coach just forgot his keys, so we couldn't play with anything. So we were just literally outside doing whatever. At one point, I was literally like just doing jumping jacks for no reason. I don't know. That's just me. But what eventually happened was I saw them throwing pebbles in there. I don't remember ever seeing a pebble inside the little water gallon, but I remember I just went there and I was like, "Oh, this looks like fun." And seeing that it was all students, I was like, "Okay, maybe this is one of their water bottles, and they're just playing a little bit of basketball in there because they're bored. They're bored." And to me, I'm not gonna assume because I'm about to reveal what happens in the story that gets me in trouble. And by the way, I was never a kid that got in trouble. I would get in trouble. There's like two different kinds of kids that get in trouble. The one bad kids who are gonna end up in prison, which was a lot of kids I knew in elementary. A lot of the kids that were getting in trouble in elementary got to prison. So parents, if you have a troublemaker kid, you got to sort that shit out. All right. And then the other side of the troublemakers was usually people like me with ADHD, the people who couldn't sit still or be quiet for just a couple of minutes. That was me. I was in that category. It was basically I would get in trouble for things that weren't bad. It was just more buffoonery. That's the best way I can explain it. So I would rarely ever. And again, like I said in my last story time, I said that I don't like getting in trouble. I never like risking getting in trouble. I will get in trouble, but it's not because of something bad I did. Like if it's stealing someone's money or whatever, it's never that. It's usually just something silly like, oh, he's not sitting still in class. Um, and I've never had detention. I never had detention. Never ever. Up until this point. This is ninth grade me. All right? This is ninth grade me. This is near the end of the semester. Never did I get any fucking detention. So this is where the story escalates. So I throw some pebbles. I remember throwing 3 shots exactly, and I missed all of them. And I didn't really care because at the end of the day, I thought it was just some other kid's gallon. Everyone else was doing it. And so then later on, I move around, talking back to the one girl, talking with this another group of kids in the class. And then I see the coach is mad. I couldn't hear exactly what he was mad at, but he sounded mad and he was talking to that group of kids that were throwing pebbles in the water and the milk gallon that was filled with water. And so then I just hear my name. Like I hear like a kid brings up my name, not like calling me, but more just referencing my name. And I was like, okay, the coach sounds mad. The kid said my name. That's not a good combination. Now the coach prior to this always just found me as annoying. The thing is I can always tell when someone finds me annoying, and usually once they do, I stop, messing around with them. Usually I'll just go mess with someone else around because I know I'm a hassle. I have a fucking ADHD. I don't choose to have ADHD. Okay, I try to stop myself, but it's just I'm not that kind of person. All right, and if you can't handle my ADHD, then just fucking tell me so I don't have to bother you. All right, like being completely honest. And so then the coach says my name, and then I'm just walking to him, and he's like, "Did you throw rocks in my water gallon?" And at that moment, my first thing was, "That was yours." Like that was in my mind what I thought, but for some reason in my mouth I was like, "I did, but I missed all shots." And for some reason, the coach all of a sudden starts trying to roast me. That's the one thing I hated about this fucking coach. He always wanted to seem cool, but yet he was annoyed with all the kids. Like, first of all, get a better fucking job. Like, don't put your fucking issues on me. But he was like, "Oh, and you sucked, but you just so happened to make one." And that's what he said. On God, that's exactly what he said. What he said was, "You sucked at being able to make it in, and so, but you were able to make one in." Keep this. Remind yourself for the rest of the story, this part, okay? Because this comes in handy for later on. Because then you see some hypocrisy from this little bitch. All right, and I don't care if you're watching this video. I need that apology, all right? Because that genuinely pissed me off for the rest of the school year. Because I was a good kid, all right? I may have been annoying, but I was a fucking good kid, all right? I never got in trouble, never had detention up until that point, getting into it. And so I was like, no, I was shooting at it because I thought it was somebody else's. If it was yours, why would I have done it? Write your fucking name on the fucking water guy. Like, that's all I kept thinking about. All I told him was, hey, no, I just threw some because I saw everyone else was. That wasn't me snitching. I thought that was obvious. Like, everyone was seeing. It's not. We were in this like wall area where you could see every kid. And then, and then he's for some reason. This is the part that pissed me off. This was where I genuinely couldn't handle myself anymore because I get pissed off once people start insulting people. Like, you can insult me all you want, but you insult my fucking family, that's where I get pissed off. This fucking guy had the audacity to say your parents didn't fucking raise you right, and they probably didn't care enough to raise you right. That's what he said. And I was like, why the hell are you bringing my... First of all, I don't know you. I don't know you. Why are you talking to me like that? And then second, you don't have proof. The only proof that he had is that those fucking dipshit little fucking spick Mexican kids were fucking snitching on me when they were the ones that did it. And I was like, no, sir, it wasn't me. They were there. And then he says, then why'd they say your name? And I was like, I don't fucking know. Maybe they hate me. Because at that point I was pissed. So I was saying things that I shouldn't have said. And I know that kids find me annoying. I know some of them do and some of them don't. And I said, I don't know. They probably don't like me. They probably fucking hate me. Of course, I'd be an easy subject because I can tell that a lot of y'all don't like me. And I said that. And then he was like, look, I don't need an excuse. I don't need an excuse. I'm going to write you up or something like that. And this was on a Friday, by the way. So all I kept, and this was 7th period on a Friday. All I kept thinking was, it's about to be the weekend. I don't care anymore. And so I said, it may have not, and this is where I started snitching a little bit, because I remember 2 exact kids that threw rocks in there, but one of them I named, but by that point, he had been gone. But at this point, I was frustrated. When I'm frustrated, I can't control myself. Like, I'm almost blurting things out, and I have almost no impulse. And I said, maybe it was this kid. He was like, he's not here. And I'm like, I don't know. Then he walked out. And I said, check the cameras, check this. Can you do that? Because it wasn't me. Because there was a camera there. There was a camera. And I was just so pissed. And when the bell rang, I just left. And I didn't think about it for the weekend. It was just kind of something that I was like, okay, I'll just deal with it on Monday. And then I go back on Monday. It was 4th period science class. And there was this baddie girl. She was a baddie, but she I remember she would respond, she would get the phone because she was like the top kid, like she was the smartest kid in the class. She was a fucking baddie, bro, but that's all I'm thinking. But she gets the phone and is like, oh, Isaac, you're in trouble. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm not used to that. I never get in trouble like that. Like, if at most it would just be a teacher being like, you need to calm down, you need to quiet down or something like that. It's usually just that, or stop talking to your friend right there. All right. That's usually the most I get in trouble. And so I was a little like, okay, because I wasn't thinking about Friday. So I go up, it was the counselor's office, I think, I don't remember. And the secretary there is like, here, can you sign this? And I see the paper, and it said that I was getting in trouble for allegedly throwing rocks and putting a bug in that in the water gallon. Now, and all I kept thinking was, I didn't see a fucking bug. Now, to be fair, by the point that I was talking to the coach, by that point he had spilled out all his water. So, but I don't remember any bugs. And I didn't fucking, I did, and I did confirm to him, I did throw pebbles, but I didn't make them in. And I remember that clearly because I said, oh, and while I was with the friend group, I said, oh, I suck. I can't make any of them in. And it still pisses me off. It still pisses me off because I was wrongfully in trouble for something that I didn't fucking do. That, like, if I did something, then cool. Then I take all the fault. I take all the blame. Okay, cool. Because then at the end of the day, that's my fault. But I was pissed, and I told the teacher, "Do I have to sign this?" And she said, "Yeah." Now, what I wish I had done was said, "I'm not going to sign it. I'm gonna just leave." Um, and so I left it at that. I signed it, but what I didn't realize, and this is what she said to me after I signed it, and I didn't realize it was written there. So that was my fault right there. She said you have detention or you have ISS, which basically is detention, but just throughout the school day. Like from the minute you get to school and the minute you leave, you're going to be in this specific classroom, which is just detention. On a Tuesday, I believe it was the next day. And all I kept thinking was, "What the fuck? I'm actually gonna get in trouble and face repercussions for shit I didn't fucking do." And I was so incredibly pissed. I was so incredibly pissed. And I hope some of you guys learn a lesson from this story. Because this is all true, by the way. Now, I wouldn't make this shit up. Like, this is true. And this is probably the only story I have of me getting in genuine trouble. And so I was pissed. I went to the class and I was so pissed. I was telling my friends in the classroom so out loud. And the one baddie that I was talking about, she heard about it too. And the teacher was like I was talking so loud that the teacher heard it. And the teacher was a baddie too, by the way. So I wish she was EDP so she could have touched me. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But anyway, she saw it and she was surprised. She was like, I wouldn't believe you would do something like this because even though I was annoying and I was a nuisance or whatever word they use, they just wouldn't believe that I would do something this stupid. And so my plan was to go to the coach because I also heard two other kids in that class got in trouble. One of them was able to call up his parents and have the parents like defend the kid, and they got their referral removed because another issue I had was now because I had a referral. I don't remember what it was called. It wasn't called a referral, but now that it was on the school record, now that I had detention, one of the rules in my school is if you had detention at least once, that basically means that you don't get to skip any finals. And I was like saving because I wanted to skip some finals because some of them I didn't need to take. Spanish? Fuck that. I speak native Spanish. Although Spanish, bro. If you're in fucking Texas, if you're in the Houston area and you're a Hispanic kid taking Spanish native speaking, you're in for a treat, all right? You're in for a treat, bro. Over here, we're like treated differently for that. And so my plan was just to go to the coach and tell him, why did you do this? Because they gave me a copy. And so I even told him, I told him, I'm like, why did you do this? And I had a short conversation because I knew I couldn't let my anger out. That's one of the things I had to control growing up was my anger. Sorry, I got to shake some. Sorry, I thought I heard knocking. I heard, or not knocking. I thought I heard a car pass by, but yeah. Anyways, I asked him. I'm like, hey, can we check the cameras? Like, I told him nicely. I was like, can we check the cameras? There's literal proof I didn't do it. And all he said to me was, your fellow peers said it was you, so that's all I'm going with. And he said something like, why do you keep lying? I'm like, why do you think I would fucking lie? First of all, I'm already in trouble. So why can't we just check the cameras? I just told him nicely, I'm like, why can't we check the cameras? There's a camera. What are you scared? And I did tell him this. I'm like, what are you scared of? Because if you're right, boom, that footage proves it. But if you're not, what you guys scared? You got to be scared of. And this is where it gets interesting. And this, I cannot believe a grown fucking man did this to a 14-year-old kid. But later, a couple of days after, I by the way, let me just tell you my quick detention. It was boring. It was filled with just a bunch of bad kids. There was a paper ball fight at the end of the day. It was the funniest shit ever, but it was so boring at the same time. I remember walking to lunch. One kid saw me. He was like, "What are you doing?" Because he was like, "What are you doing with the ISS kids?" And I'm like, "Look, I got framed for something." I didn't know any of the kids there, but I don't mean to be that guy. But it was all just fucking Mexicans in there. It was every kid in there looked like they belong in there. Like the Edgars with the bowl cuts, the brown Hispanic girl that has like one like pink dyed part of their hair. It's like every stereotype of a bad Mexican in America was literally in that room, except me. I was some fucking Mexican that had like a little Riyad Mahrez haircut. I actually used to do that. I would go to my barber and just say, "Give me this cut," and it'd be a picture of Riyad Mahrez. All right, if you know that soccer player, boom, you got it figured. But I ended up finding out that the coach was telling everyone what fucking happened because I was talking to it with my friends in my history class. In my history teacher, by the way, shout out to this classroom. I wish I could say the names. I can't, but it was a government. No, it wasn't government. Crap, what was it? I don't remember. But it was in my history class, fifth period, and the teacher looked up and was like, "Wait, you're the kid that threw rocks and bugs inside his gallon?" And I'm like, It wasn't me." Like, and I was genuinely mad because I'm like, "You're telling me that this guy in his 30s, 40s is fucking starting drama with the 14-year-old kid? You fucking serious? Is this what is a role model?" Because I'm sorry, this motherfucker isn't a role model. This, like, if you're a teacher, you should strive to be the best person around every kid because you are an adult. You should lead by example. You should be someone people look and set out to be. Because I've had teachers, my Spanish teacher in eighth grade, massive shout out to him. I wish I could say his name again. I can't get him in trouble, although I think he's retired. But my Spanish teacher from eighth grade, he's a major W. This fucking coach, little prick. You're telling me a fucking 30-year-old guy was fucking talking shit about a 14-year-old kid? Like, you gotta be reprioritizing your fucking life, bro. But that got me mad. I'm like, what are you fucking telling people? And then went back to what I decided was I'm just not going to talk to him. I'm not going to do anything because I'm like, look, I already served my time. I got in trouble. Boom, it is what it is. And so a coach, I think for the rest of the school year, and I think it was only like 2 or 3 months left in the school year, we weren't allowed to go outside. We were only forced to be inside the gym room. And he had to announce it. We were in the room waiting to go outside. And he was like, due to one of your students doing something stupid, you will not be able to go outside. You're gonna have to stay inside for the rest of the school year. And immediately I was pissed again. It fucking frustrated me, and it still pisses me off to this day just thinking about it because I got framed for nothing, and this fucking 30-year-old fucking teacher, being the prick that he is, and I hope he's watching, lied about me. And I just had to deal with it because no fucking person believed me. This is the thing that annoyed me about this story. And sorry if I sound mad, but no one believed me. When at the end of the day, all he could have done was check the cameras. But I knew very well that part of the reason why I think he didn't was because he was too far into the story. He had already been telling people about me, and he knew that if he was proven wrong, then he'd look stupid, and a 14-year-old kid would have fucking owned him. A 14-year-old kid who didn't even have a beard. I only had like a little sideburn and a fucking little mustache and a little bit of a goatee. That was it that I had. A little fucking 14-year-old kid wearing the same Barcelona jersey every day, every day. That fucking guy, you were afraid that that guy was going to fucking expose your ass. Um, but I remember I just blurted out, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me," because I'm always gonna clarify what happened with me. And obviously, I'm not a victim of anything. Like, at the end of the day, none of this really mattered. The only thing is that it was an inconvenience. But still, it's an inconvenience that I didn't fucking earn, right? So what happens after was for the rest of the school year, some of the kids wouldn't look at me. Like, it was the kids got pissed at me. The kids genuinely believed it because now they couldn't go outside. Some of the kids always liked going outside. I remember one time this fucking fat kid, I ain't afraid to say his name, Carlos. His name was Carlos. He was this fat, big kid who was basically, he was basically memed on all the time because of how fat he was. Like, how slow he was, how he was. It's funny because we were friends in the beginning of the second semester. We were friends. We'd mess around a lot. But then he just started becoming a prick. And that's what the thing I hated about him. Holy fuck, that fat kid. I don't remember his last name. I wouldn't say his last name, but Carlos. Fuck Carlos, by the way. Fuck that guy. He was this fat white kid that had for some reason a Mexican as a name. He was probably Mexican, but he just looked very white. Um, and all he did was basically just touch the other kids. I assumed the guy was gay. Not saying that in a bad way, but he'd always like touch everyone inappropriately. He would always touch me inappropriately. I thought it was all shits and giggles, but now I think he's probably a queer. But anyways, sorry, I'm sounding mad. I'm getting riled up just remembering this whole fucking story. But anyways, I remember at one point we were in the gym and he got, I don't remember what I did. I was acting on my ADHD again, and and I remember he said like at least I don't throw bugs and at least I don't put bugs in water gallons, and I'm like, it wasn't me. Why the fuck do you think it's me? Why can't no one fucking hear me? Why do you think I would keep saying this if I already fucking got in trouble? Like, I already got in trouble. I got nothing to lose anymore. Why do you think it was me if I keep constantly repeating myself? And then for the rest of that school year, all the kids were like frowning on me. They didn't like talking to me. And I remember I would still be like, there were some kids that were still friends with me and all that, but that just annoyed me. That just annoyed me. Like, talk to the fucking other teachers. You talk to the other students. And then for the rest of the school year, I was basically just seen as the guy who ruined fucking going outside for the rest of the class. And by the way, I love ninth grade, by the way. Ninth grade was a great year. All right, just had to check. I heard like a car passing by. But this all happened, and I got framed. And then basically for the rest of the year, it was just, I didn't like talking to him. He didn't like talking to me. He said some really shitty things that, to me, the whole comment about my mom, that really pisses me off, because you're at that point, you're making it personal to a point where it doesn't need to be personal. Talk shit about me. You can call me call me the arsler, bro. Call me that. Why the hell are you talking about my mom? You know, but anyways, for the rest of the school year, that was always annoying. And it's always been a story that I've told my friends. Like, it's always a random story I tell my friends. They got framed for this, a referral. And ever since then, I even talked about it with my mom, because I thought the school was going to call my mom, because I never understood what it's like to get a referral to that extent. And I talked about it with my mom, and she was like, yeah, they didn't tell me shit. And my mom believed me, but again, at the end of the day, I had parents that really didn't have time or were able to go, like, it was basically, I had to deal with it on my own, unlike the other kid that was able to call his parents. By the way, he's a dad now. That's so fucking badass, bro. He's a daddy. Like, it's funny seeing someone my age now be a parent, especially that we grew up in elementary and all that. But yeah, I mean, that was it for the story. The thing I learned that day is that you can't trust people, and that's one of the advices I want to give people who are going into school. Make good friends. Honestly, a good friend, to me, and this is all I'm gonna say in high school. In high school, I always looked for a girl. Like, every year, it never stopped. I was always looking for a new girlfriend, a new girl to take to homecoming or whatever. That was always my mindset. But looking back at it, the best thing about high school was never the girls. It was always the friends. The friends are there. And find yourself a good friend, because those people in that classroom that at one point I considered friends, they became dickheads because of a fucking lie, and they didn't believe me. And I said this on God, and I don't say that often. Like, on my channel, I never say this, but on God, I didn't do that shit. I did throw pebbles, but I missed them all. Don't know who put bugs and rocks in there, but it certainly wasn't me. I want to make this its own standalone video. So yeah, fuck Carlos, fuck that coach, fuck those guys. They can suck my pee-pee. And that's just how the story goes. But some advice I gotta tell for y'all that are going into high school. I don't know whether you're a senior, freshman, junior, and if you're going to college, I guess this is some good advice. For those of you going into school, honestly, live in the now. I know I say that quote a lot, but honestly, live in the now. Like, now you're in your youth. Right now, you don't have the worries you have. Live in the now. Stay sober. There's going to be kids offering you beer. They're going to be offering you alcohol. They're going to be offering you drugs. Stay safe from that. Stay safe from that. You don't want to be doing that. That's not cool. You know, stay sober. Stay sober. Stay sexy. Live in the now. Live by those quotes. Make sure you do well in your classes, because it's good to have an education. Stay in school, guys. Like, staying in school is good. And also, don't worry, because this is one thing that doesn't get talked about. If you don't have a plan for the future, it's okay, man. You're young, you're dumb, and you're naive. That's okay. Because for me, I struggled figuring out what I wanted to do in my career. Like, I struggled what my purpose was. I struggled in knowing that. And it was a struggle of mine until after I left high school, and then I figured what I wanted to do. for the rest of, I mean, my main thing is always YouTube. I can't say personally what educational wise what it is that I want to do, or professionally. I don't know why I said educational, but professionally, because I don't want to get in any trouble until eventually I get it. But anyways, that's the dream. My dream is to do YouTube. That's why I do it every day. Even when I can't do, even when I'm busy, when I don't have my computer, I still work to do YouTube, because at the end of the day, this is my freaking dream. All I gotta say to all you young cats out there is have fun. You're young. You may not understand it. Talk to women. Honestly, be confident. Ask out that girl. Be more confident. You know, to me, I think one of the things that my ADHD really helped me with is I was always very talkative and very communicative, that it made me more fun and outgoing. And I think that really helped me. So all I gotta tell you cool cats is talk to that girl, make friends, because all, if you watch my vlogs, all the friends that I have in those vlogs I met from high school. Two of, I know four of, three of them, or no, four of them I met in elementary. One of them, Jose, if y'all know Jose, he has like curly hair. He has shorter hair. He's the one with the Spider-Man Crocs. I've known him since pre-K. I'm being dead ass on God. I've known him since pre-K, and I have pictures to prove it. Like school old pictures from me in elementary. He was in that. I've known him since pre-K. In second grade, we were put in the same table because I was acting up a lot, and Jose was a quiet kid. He was more introverted, and that didn't work out because it just caused me to be more energetic. Because me and Jose became best friends. Still to this day, if you watch the vlogs, I see him nearly every week. And that's how it's been since graduation from high school. Uh, the other ones I've met in elementary, some in middle school, some in high school. It is what it is, but make yourself some good friends, and make sure you have friends that are willing to call you out on things. Have friends that are going to be willing to have fun with you, and don't make dirty, fake friends. And if a teacher is giving you advice, listen to them, listen to her, him, whatever. Get your grades up. And again, raise up the girl. Honestly, like, talk to girls. I feel like high school, you learn so much about yourself during that time period that it's crazy, because you don't think about it until after. Like, you learn so much. There's fake friends. There's real. It's like weird, because in high school, I think I had some fake ass friends, some bullshit ass friends, and then I had some real motherfucker ones that I still talk to till this day. And so all I gotta tell you guys is, to you cats, is live in the now. You're young. You're great, and you're probably a great person, because if you watch my videos, you're fucking great. And enjoy it while it lasts. Live in the now, like, genuinely live in the now. Um, and whatever your dream is, I believe that you'll do it. You want to be a lawyer? Cool, I believe you. If you're a doctor, if you want to be a soccer player, follow your dreams, but make sure you work for them. Because the more you work, the more you're going to get there. Hard work beats talent any day of the week. And join some extracurricular activities. Like, honestly, join some activities, whether it's you want to play some tennis, you want to play soccer, you want to join a club. I don't know. Like, to me, honestly, I wish I had gone to band, because they got to go to Disney World. They get to go to Disney World, so I thought that was cool. I wish I had done it, because I had some friends in band. They're mainly because there was a lot of baddies in band. I don't know how the fuck that's possible, but join activities. Just do whatever your heart desires. Do that, whether it's a career path, whether it's a club, whatever. Do that. Talk to that girl that you had a crush on. You know, now that y'all have the same class in like fucking sixth period or whatever, talk to her, bro. Talk to her. Ask her out of homecoming, bro. Just ask for her, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever you cool cats like to use nowadays. Do that, because I guarantee you that if you do all that, you're gonna have a fun time. You're gonna have a fun time. And maybe after high school, you're gonna have even more fun. You know, being with the ones that I love, you know, the friends that I made during that time period. It's just crazy, the fact that I became closer to them outside of high school. And just enjoy it. Just enjoy the moment. Enjoy every moment you got, because I'm telling you this right now, it gets harder after. It gets harder after. When you become an adult, it becomes significantly harder. And there's gonna be a lot more people just like that coach that are gonna willing to fuck you up. If you don't know the right people, if you're acting silly, you're going to have people who are going to screw you over and basically cut off your dick. They'll castrate you just because they can. So make sure you be yourself. So that's all I got to say. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all have a wonderful first day of school, or if you're already in school, hope you have a wonderful rest of the school year. Hope you guys are able to learn something from this video, and hopefully you guys have the best school year of your life. And even if you're not in school, whatever you're doing, whether you're a parent already, whether you're buying a house, or it can mean nothing at all, whatever. If you're just working in your job, whatever it is, bro, be yourself, be the best version of yourself, and make sure to live by the 3 rules: stay sober, stay sexy, and live in the now. And if you don't want to stay sober, that's okay. That's just my mindset. That's my motto. But everyone can live in the now. So that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Ciao. Got me fucked up. I need your love.